Overreaction or proper reaction? Let's start with this one. Arch Manning is the new QB1 in Austin.
Sure.
It's an overreaction. It's an over. Great for Arch. You know what? I am happy for that kid because Quinn Ewers leaves this game. Weird injury. Like couldn't really make out what it was at first, and it ends up being a strained abdomen. TBD on kind of what his status is going to be moving forward with the schedule, the way that it sets up. Would not surprise me if we saw them be really conservative with his return. Probably doesn't really bode well if you put a future on him to win the Heisman. Missing power conference games doesn't really bode well for that. But Arch steps in and like his first 2 scrimmage touchdowns, and
Yep,
the run that he had, longest run by a Texas quarterback since Vince Young 2005. That'll get the folks fired up. Nice little wiggle. He's like, I got that from my mom. I didn't get that from my dad. Shots fired just directly into the face of Archie.
I heard somebody say that's the first time I've ever heard the word sneaky athletic and believed it was Arch Manning.
Yeah, a little bit, but like the timing is still a little bit. It's a little bit different. There were some moments where you're like you like tip passes and stuff like that. He does the arm angle stuff a lot, and I still think there was so much more good than bad. To me, this is just like what we talked about all off season though, and why his development, as much as we're going to overreact to everything, it's important because in the likely event that Quinn Ewers is going to miss some time at some point, you'd like your quarterback to not be a total liability. And so far, like I thought that was a really, really nice start. Also, this is a dumb thing to bring up here, but I'm going to bring it up anyways. I kind of love that Arch has like all these handshakes with everybody else on the team. Like I kind of wondered about that. Is he going to be the guy that's like, oh, that's Manning. He's off doing his own thing. Like we talked about it with the college football video game that he didn't opt into, and then he ends up opting into. It's like, is he going to be kind of like on his own island the entire time?
You didn't know. This is gonna like whatever. I'll get out of it quickly. You really don't know if you're gonna get almost like RFK Jr. vibes out of him because he's so far removed from the whole thing. Like he's Cooper's son. You're like, is this guy like the lost Manning? Like what's going on with him? And then you see him play like, oh, this is a new kind of Manning. This isn't like a weirdo Manning. This isn't some Manning that is just like been off doing his own thing. We haven't seen anything. To your point, he's been very PR heavy. You see him play and you're like, oh, this is fun. They're keeping under wraps. It's not some socially awkward kid. He's too fun. That's the problem with him.
Yeah, and he's progressing too. Like I really thought he made those steps in the spring. So who knows? It looks like we're going to see a lot more. We could be seeing a lot more of Arch. Again, it was UTSA. Take that for what it is. But yeah, that was a really, really nice showing, and kind of the silver lining, of course, unfortunately, Ewers getting hurt. That is just a trend that continues to repeat itself. Okay. Overreaction or proper reaction? Mississippi State might have won its last game of 2024.
They might have gotten worse than last year, man.
Will, this is a proper reaction because I want you to do me a favor right now.
Oh, okay.
I want you to pull up the Mississippi State schedule for the rest of the season, because losing that way at home to Toledo, so much worse, obviously, than what happened last week at Arizona State.
Well, luckily they have a team worse than Toledo next week, which is Florida at home. So I think they'd be favored in that one, right?
Goodness, that is, everybody's going to call that a toilet bowl game. I'm just going to call it the Dan Mullen Bowl and move on. Keep scrolling on that schedule until you get to the next.
In Austin, in Athens. Oh.
Keep going. Keep going.
Oh, A&M in Starkville, Arkansas, Starkville, UMass, Tennessee, Mizzou, Ole Miss.
You had me at UMass, Will. Is Ryan Bamford
no way, right?
Gonna rally the troops, the Minutemen? I know they're 0-3. I know it's Don Brown. I would never bet on Don Brown. I don't bet, period. But if I did, I would never bet on Don Brown. Is Mississippi State going to lose to UMass? They can't. They
can. Once you lose to Toledo, you can lose to anybody, even maybe Florida.
Toledo is bottom 15 in the country in percentage of returning production. It's like as much as like, okay, that's like a team that's been really solid in the MAC. You know, Jason Candle is kind of one of these up and coming coaches. It's a respected program, and it's a great win for them. Absolutely great win. Totally inexperienced, and to come into Starkville and look like that. Let's just say I don't feel terrible about predicting that Mississippi State was going to go winless in SEC play this year. That was bad. Really, really bad.
you got two kinds of Ole Miss fans: the ones that are freaking out about Lane Kiffin and the Florida thing, and the ones that are just laughing at Miss State. And be one of those second guys because that's a much more fun guy to be.
Yeah, seriously. All right, overreaction or proper reaction? Hank Brown is the answer to Auburn's quarterback problems.
Hank Brown.
Great name. Great name. I'm not going to say it's a proper reaction because you played well enough against New Mexico. He's got a little bit more comfortability. That will look. Could Peyton Thorne have done that against New Mexico? Yeah. Did he do it against New Mexico State? No.
Do we know that? That's the thing. I'm just gonna start questioning everything. The data says yes.
What we do know is that Hank Brown might be trying to do a Jackson Dart imitation. Tell me he's not trying to do a Jackson Dart imitation. A little bit.
Just be your own person, guys. We don't need more Dylan Raiolas in this world.
Dylan Raiola, just do your own thing, man. Hank Brown will be the starter next week against Arkansas. Hugh Freeze announced that afterwards. I'm going to give Hugh Freeze a tiny bit of credit there for being willing to pivot this early. I think a lot of coaches would dig their heels in even more.
Is it early to pivot off of Peyton Thorne? I would argue it's late.
You're right. This early in the season.
Give me Robbie Ashford. I'll say it again. Two coaches have now said he can't throw the ball. I don't know about that.
Nice. Anyway. Robbie Ashford is a Joe Moorhead product. He could probably figure it out.
There you go.
Yeah, but I mean, like this early in the season to realize, buddy, if we just go 6-6 again, hot seat going into year 3, he knows how this goes. You have to figure this out now. And Hugh Freeze is going to turn him. Let's see how he looks against SEC competition. Let's see how he looks against a defensive coordinator in Travis Williams that I continue to have respect for, despite the fact that Arkansas didn't look particularly good against UAB. So yeah, we'll see how that plays out. Too early to say that Hank Brown is going to absolutely be the answer at the quarterback position, but it felt good. And Auburn's learned to appreciate wins against the state of New Mexico.
Yeah, 1-1 against them. I think that at the end of the day, you just give me something. Just give me something, bro. Like, even if it's bad, like, give me a new bad. Like, that's the thing. Like, just turn the page, please. I'm so glad we did this.
Okay, let's do this last one, Will. Tennessee is going to hang half 100 in Norman. College Game Day going to be in the house. First time that College Game Day is going to Norman with fans since 2012, the Notre Dame game, Manti Te'o. Heisman campaign kind of launched in that one. Been a long time.
They say Brian Kelly can't win big games.
Anyway, that was one of his biggest wins at Notre Dame. Maybe his biggest win at Notre Dame. I'm going to say that's a slight overreaction, even though Tennessee's put up at least half 100 in every game this year.
They're going to need some help from Jackson Arnold. That's the thing. They'll need a little bit of help from their friends, but
help in the form of like a pick six. Are you saying?
Yeah.
I'll say it's a slight overreaction just because I think the Oklahoma defense will easily be the best defense that Tennessee has faced so far, and kind of wait and see what it looks like. True road atmosphere for Nico. First time he is going to be playing in a true road atmosphere. We'll see what it looks like with the communication. All those things are going to be a question for the Josh Heupel reunion. But what Tennessee's offense looks like is just it's like if you just tuned into a game and you had it on multi-view or something like that, you would be under the impression that they're just showing highlights the entire time. Everything is highlights. It's just, oh, look at that crease. Oh, he's gone. Oh, Dylan Sampson touchdown. Oh, Bishop, he's touchdown. Oh, Nico just dropped that one in a bucket to Chris Brazel. That's a touchdown too. Everything is a highlight. There are no just 3-yard runs and a cloud of dust. Every single thing. It's been unbelievably impressive. I am so fired up for that game next week. That's going to be great.
Man, I mean, yeah, we need some help from the Oklahoma defense because Dylan Sampson's making us look silly for not considering him for the SEC rushing leader.
I'm glad of myself.
That dude is he's real good, man. And it's Josh Heupel with an actually kind of competent quarterback. I mean, where else but the NIL era of SEC football can you see a dude named Ayamaleava throw the ball to a dude named Squirrel White? I love this silly sport. But yeah, I mean, that Oklahoma's defense, in my opinion, has been really good. It's the fact that their offense is so bad. I'm not kidding. Jackson Arnold is the biggest asset to Tennessee's offense right now because their defense is I like the matchup. It's going to be a good test. Oklahoma defense versus Tennessee offense. When you're throwing that Jackson Arnold is also on Tennessee's team at times, I think that makes it a little bit easier for Tennessee.
Important that Jackson Arnold uses his legs in this one because might be running for his life at times. He used his legs very, very effectively against Tulane, a game that got way too close for comfort down the stretch. Ole Miss, or not Ole Miss, but Oklahoma still ends up covering the spread in that one. But Oklahoma fans were like, "What is this drought that's going on right now?" Because they just have too many of these lulls in this game, and you cannot have lulls against Tennessee. You will not be a team that good. They're going to easily have to play their best game of the season in order to somehow survive that against a Tennessee team that's off to a red hot start. Okay, that's a pod, Will. That was a loaded pod. Week 3 is in the books.
Mm-hmm.
Fun guest.
How do you like the succinct objective, Will?
Succinct. I'm gonna have to do like a deep dive on the different uses of succinct because I interpret that a little bit differently. You're fired up today. You're fired up. You're fired up yesterday too.
I didn't open up WordPress. Okay, like I said, that's the line I got to keep explaining to people, I guess, which is that when I'm having fun. When it's about my professional opinion, that's a little different.
Yeah, fair enough. I totally understand what you're saying. We will not name any names with that.